Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Okay, this is the video for day number 98. And this video may be a little bit longer because this is actually your classwork and your homework together. So your homework would have been to finish the packet, so I guess we'll kind of just do it all together. So there's no separate homework that you're going to get assigned, like a classwork or a packet or anything like that. This is the packet, classwork, and homework, and this is what you can post onto Google. So thank you so much. All right, and again, all these worksheets can be found on my website. All right, so here we go. So yesterday we learned about measures of central tendency, which is mean, median, mode, and range. And we're going to do the same exact thing today, but the difference is going to be a table. So it's going to look different. There's going to be different strategies and stuff like that. And it's definitely a little more difficult for some people because everything is not kind of like normal and spread out like you're used to. But hopefully it will make sense after this video is done. All right, here we go. When the range is small, well, that's important, we use intervals of length 1 to group data. For example, let's examine the table below, which represents the number of times last summer that a certain number of students went to the beach. So this represents, this table down here, this is called a table, the number of times last summer that a certain number of students went to Jones Beach. So let's kind of go over it. This says interval and this says frequency. Frequency, you probably remember from last year, is the number of times something occurs. So number of times it occurs. And for us, that's going to be, it's going to represent the number of people. And this is the number of people because this interval over here, usually describing what you're talking about, is the number of times they went. All right, so that's a little confusing. So let's just look at the first one, 10 and 1. So what that means, again, this is the number of people. What this means, this first row right here, is that one person went 10 times. Okay, this means 2 people went 9 times, 3 people went 8 times, and so on and so forth. So that's how you would read this table, okay? So now that we kind of looked at that, let's go back up and look at the questions. So total frequency. Again, frequency is the number of times it happened. In this case, the number of times they went to the beach. And total, basically you should know that that means add. So we're going to add up the frequency. Okay, so what we can do actually is we can make a list. And I'm going to start from the bottom because I want it to be numerical order because I know I have to do my median that way anyway. So this means that 3 people went 5 times. So this is what you're writing. This is how many times you're writing. 6 people went 4 times. Do that again. 4 people went 6 times. Sorry about that. 2 people went 7 times. That's why you have this twice. 3 people went 8 times. So 1, 2, 3. 2 people went 9 times, and that one person went 10 times. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so there's 15 in our total frequency. Okay, there is actually a little bit of a shortcut to figure that out. If you take the frequency column and simply add them all up, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3, you will see that it will also get you 15. So when you add up all those numbers, that is also the total frequency. So you're going to see a lot I teach you today. I'm going to teach you the long way, and I'll teach you also a shortcut. All right, so the mean. Remember the mean, you need the total sum over the number you have. Okay, I showed you these symbols yesterday. If I didn't say it, I'll say it again. This is your capital sigma. Okay, a lot of you have seen this on the poster that's on the wall above my desk. You've also seen me wear the shirt that says I ate some pie and it was delicious. So this is where that symbol comes from, that sum symbol. All right, so we're just going to add those all together. And you should get 105. So our work would be 105 divided by 15. And that's going to get us an answer of 7. And again, this is the supportive work for your mean. So median is always the middle number. And it looks like lucky number 7 is our middle number. And then your mode, the mode is the one that occurs the most. So you can look here and see that 6 occurred 4 times. You can also very quickly see that from your table. You just look for which one has the highest number, and that would be 6. And again, that's your highest frequency. All right, so hopefully that was not too bad. So what I'm gonna now go through is, like I said, I'm gonna show you some shortcuts to get the mean, median. The mode, the kind of the shortcut is just looking at the highest number. But the mean and the median, there's other ways to do this when you have a table and when your length of your interval is only 1, meaning there's only one number. All right, so we're gonna go through that right now. So let's start with what's actually down here. So state a procedure that can be used to determine the mean, and mean is your average, for a table of group data when the length of the interval is 1. And here are your notes. You're going to multiply each interval, so it's these numbers here, by the corresponding frequency. Then we're going to add the products. Remember, products just means what you multiply. And then we're going to divide by the total frequency. Okay? Divide by the total frequency. And actually, while I have my calculator out, which hopefully you all have your calculator with you, I guess if we were in class, we'd be doing a calculator check, but I guess I can't do that. I want to really quick just remind you how to do the mean and the median in the calculator. So remember, you're going to put all these numbers into L1. So to get there, I press stat, I press 1. I went up to my L1, I pressed clear, and I went down. So I'm going to put these numbers in, pressing enter after each one. Oops, made a mistake. I just go over and highlight it. Press the number I really want. Okay, so it says I have 16, but you have to go to the last number you have, and then it'll tell you what you have. So 15. And again, if you want to just scroll up or press up and just make sure that you have the right numbers, I should have 3 5s, 6 4s, 4 6s, excuse me, 2 7s. I should have 3 8s, 2 9s, and a 10. Okay, good. So remember, stat, calc, 1. Stat, calc, 1. 1 var stats, a univariate. Press calculate. And you can also get all of this stuff here on the calculator. So X bar, okay, your mean is your X with the bar above it. There is that sum. Remember what's on my t-shirt. The sum is 105. Here's the number that you typed in, that's 15. Okay, so 105 divided by 15 is 7. That's how we got that number of 7. And if you scroll down, you will get the median is also 7. Okay, so that was from yesterday's lesson. All right, so back to this lesson. So you're going to multiply each interval by the corresponding frequency. So this is the other way, instead of adding up all the numbers, instead of doing it on the calculator, this is just, another way to get the mean. So you're going to multiply this. 10 times 1 is 10. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24. 7 times 2 is 14. 6 times 4 is 24, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so it's good to know different kinds of ways to do things in math. So you're going to multiply, we did that. So you're going to add all these numbers together. So when I add them up, I already know what it should be. I know it should be 105. And divide by the total frequency. So I'm going to do 105 divided by my total frequency of 5. So remember, this is really the n in the calculator. That's our total frequency. And this number right here is your total sum. And it's that sigma with the x. It's a capital sigma with the x in the calculator. And when you divide them, you get 7. So it's the same way I did when I, added them each one by hand and divided by 15. It's the same way I did in the calculator. Why is this better? Because if you have things that maybe have a frequency of 100, you don't want to sit here and be typing in 100 numbers. So this is the shorter way. You just add up the products and divide, and you get the same exact answer. Okay, so remember this right here. This is, I'll just write it here again. Oops, sorry. That is the sum when you're looking in the calculator. That's the sum, and this is your mean. All right, so that's the shortcut for the mean. And now let's do the shortcut. It's not really, I guess it's more of like a trick. No, I guess it's a shortcut. Shortcut, trick, whatever. So this is going to be the trick for the median. Okay, median we know is halfway. This only works if you have interval lengths of 1 and if they're in numerical order, whether it's from increasing or decreasing, they have to be in order or this does not work. All right, so here's what you do for the median. You're going to take your total frequency. So that's your total frequency, and you're going to cut it in half. Why am I going to cut it in half? Remember, your total frequency is N on the calculator. Why am I going to cut it in half? Well, because usually we think that median is middle. Middle, it's kind of like halfway. All right, and we get 7.5. You'll either get a whole number or you'll get 0.5. So think of this as almost like people, maybe, and you can't have half of a person. So you're always going to round up, and usually you always get 0.5. I mean, we do some stuff in the future, you might get 0.5, but for now you're getting 0.5. Think of, 5 or more raise a score. So you're rounding it to 8. So you're going to focus on this number 8. And the most important thing is you must start from the lowest interval number. All right, so again, what I'm doing right now is the trick to figure out the median, which is like the halfway. So I took the total frequency of 15 and I cut it in half. So I'm looking for like the 8th person. Remember, with frequency, what this really means, this is 3 people. This is 4 people. This is 2 people. This is 3 people, so on and so forth. So think of like these 15 people lined up in a row, and you're looking for the 8th person. So start from the lowest. Start counting. 1, 2, 3. Notice I made the dashes 4 people, so this is 3 people. This is 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So per people 4 to 7 were in this group. I didn't get to 8 yet. I need 8. Well, when I come up to here, that's person number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. That means person 8 and 9 were in this group, number 7, and that's how we get the median. So this is a very, very cool trick. I love this. I use this all the time, and it always works if, again, this is an interval of 1, and I'll show you what an interval of 1, not 1 looks like, and it's in numerical order. Okay. All right, so the last thing, modal interval. This is a new vocabulary word that you have to know for today's lesson and future. This is, or this means, the interval with the highest frequency. Okay, so let's think about this. Mode usually means the number that's repeated the most. Okay, so in a list of numbers, which number appears the most? Okay. Frequency are the numbers, right? So the frequency is the actual number. So highest frequency should mean the highest number. The highest number. So what is there the most? What's repeated the most? That's all it's asking for. So modal interval is kind of the same exact thing as mode, except that you're giving me the interval, which sometimes could be a single number, sometimes it could be an actual group of numbers. So modal interval. All right, so that was a lot, but the rest of the questions are similar to all of this, so hopefully they shouldn't be too bad. All right, next page. The data below is grouped into intervals other than length 1. So here's where a lot of these shortcuts from this previous page are kind of thrown out the window. So there is no multiplying for this one. Okay, you cannot do this shortcut way. That's okay. They usually don't ask you that many questions about this anyway. All right, so what is the total frequency? So again, our shortcut for total frequency is to just add up all the frequency. So 3 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 2. That's going to give us 26. So the total frequency is 26. B, what is the interval? So they want the interval, so they want from here, which contains the median. So we can do our shortcut for this median. Okay, so we're going to take n over 2. So we're going to take the total frequency and divide it by 2. So our total frequency was 26. Remember, median is like that middle person in the list. This is just a shortcut. Instead of lining up all 26 people, this is my shortcut. So this one was a nice whole number, which is great. Again, I could start from the bottom. Oh, actually, I said before that it doesn't work. Only works at intervals of 1, but that's not true because it works with this also. So it really works with anything, just as long as it's in numerical order. So intervals of 1 and intervals of more, like this is. Sorry about that. So this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's see how many I need. 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's right here in this group. Okay, and you don't have to write these out. You can just kind of start adding. 2 plus 6 is 8. All right, have I gotten to the number 13 yet? No. And then I have 8 plus 7, which is 15. Okay, 8 plus 7 is 15. So if you notice that when I was going from 8 to 17, which got me 15, I passed that number 13. So that means that 13th person is in this group. Okay, so the only thing you can't really do for this one is you basically can't do the multiplying for the average. But the median trick still works because, again, it's interval of length 1 or more, which, again, I apologize. I said that before that it was only 1, but it's 1 or more. All right, so we can't do that trick. And notice they don't even ask you what the median is because basically you can't do this trick anyway. All right, so modal interval. So from before, it's the interval with the highest frequency. So just look for what the highest number is. This is the highest number. And that is 45 to 54. Okay, so total frequency, add up all the numbers. Median, you could do the shortcut, just as long as this is in numerical order, which this is. You just take the total frequency, cut it in half, you get 13, and count up until you get to the 13th person. Modal interval is most frequent, and there you go. All right, number 2. So we're back to the 1 mode again instead of the group. All right, total frequency. Total frequency, again, you're going to add all the frequency up, and you're going to get a total of 15. Mode, quickest way. Okay, you're going to look at the grades. It wants the mode of the grades. So which one has the highest number? And it looks like this is the winner, and that is 65. Okay, so this mode is of the grade. Now we have median and we have mean. Okay, so median I guess we'll do first. And I guess I'll show you both ways. I guess I'll show you both ways. All right, so I'm going to write all the numbers out first. I'm start with my lowest. So 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of annoying to write all these out. I would definitely suggest doing the shortcut. Okay, notice I didn't write 68 because there was none of them. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, what did I do? 62, 3, 4. Oh, forgot a 66. So it's always good to check. Always check. All right, so median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, it's a middle number. 1, 1, and 64. 64. Okay, but again, what happens if there's like 100 numbers? No one's going to sit here and write out 100 numbers. So to do our shortcut, which is so much easier, and again, they're in numerical order, so we're good to go. You take your total frequency, okay, this is your total frequency, and you divide it by 2, because median is like halfway, and half is 7.5. Again, you're rounding because you can have half of a person. So you can start counting until you get up to 8. So this time I'm going to start from here because this is the lowest number. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 3. This would give me to 5. This would give me to 8. Oh, well, that's what I need. This is what I need. And that makes the grade 64. And that's exactly what we got before. So the long way, the shortcut, don't forget you can even put all of this into the calculator in Stat 1, put all of those numbers here, go to Stat Calc 1, and you get the same exact answer. All right, so the last one is going to be your mean. So I guess I'll show this to you 2 ways. So to get your mean work, it's going to be the sum over how many you have. So you're going to add up all those numbers. And you should get 960. So you get 960 divided by how many you have. And 960 divided by 15 gives us a grade score of 64. Okay, so a couple extra ways to do that. So way number 1, don't forget, is on the calculator. You could put the numbers in here. This takes way too long to do. 66. Okay, so I got my 15 numbers. And then when you go to Stat Calc 1, calculate, you get, again, your mean score of, that's your X bar, don't forget X bar, of 64. There is your sum, so basically does the adding for you of 960, and that is your total amount, so that's 64. Okay, and then the shortcut way, so this is where you have to have the interval of length 1 is for the mean, not the median. Sorry, the median will still work whether it's 1 or more. It's the mode that has to be the 1. So I don't know what I said before, but all right, so this is where you do your multiplying. 63 times 2 is 126. 64 times 3 is 192. This is 260. 132. 67 and 0. I add them all up. I get 960. And again, I do the 960 over the 15. The 960 is the sum of the numbers. The 15 is the total frequency. And then I get a value of 64. So there's so many different ways to do this. It's good to know all of them because it makes your life easier. You do whatever better for you. And don't forget, it's also good to do all of them because you really never know what the Regents is going to give us. So, and I've said that plenty of times before. All right, hopefully you guys are all doing okay. So the prices of 7 race cars sold last week are listed below. So you have the price of the cars, this would be your interval, and this is going, so this is your interval, and this is your frequency, the number of cars. Okay, so we want to start with the mean value. So mean is the average, that is your X bar. Okay, I'm probably going to show a little less work on these ones now that we've done a couple. So, what do I want to do? Let's do this way first. I guess we'll do the multiplying way, and then I'll show you the calculator way. Okay, so multiply that is 126,000. This would be 280,000, 180,000, 800,000, 819. So now when you add that all up, because I already have the answer, you get 2,205,000. So remember, to do the average, you are taking the sum of the numbers and dividing it by how many you have. Sum of the numbers, well, how do I figure out how many I have? That was this right here. We just add up the total frequency, and obviously we should get 7 because it told us it was 7 race cars. And this is going to be 315,000. Okay, 315,000. The calculator way is you'd have to put these numbers. Can you see that? Yes. They're big numbers. So notice the ones that said 2, I put in twice. The ones I said once put, oh man, what did I do? 280, 280, 180. Oh my, this didn't come in twice. And again, I knew that because see how that said 6? And I knew it had to be 7. So I'm making these mistakes on purpose to show you. Okay, so now I have all 7 numbers in there. StatCalc 1. Calculate. And it should give us our, oh, that's not good. Why did that not work? Well, it should have been the right thing of 315. All right, what did I do? 126. Then, oh, because I was putting these numbers in. Silly. These are the numbers you want to put in. 140, 123. And then 140. Then it was 180, and then it was 400. All right, sorry about that. You have to actually put in the actual numbers and not the products. Okay. Not doing too good on this question. StatCalc 1. Let's try this again. And now it should say the right answer. There we go. There we go. So don't put in these ones. Please put in the actual values of the cars. Okay, it is going to ask me for median on the next one, so I might as well just show you that it is here on the calculator already. The median should be our 180,000. We'll just go through how to get that. All right, so the median, you can line up all the numbers. Like I won't write them all out. The whole numbers, 126, 126, no, 126, 140, 140, 180, 400, 400, 819, and then you can kind of go and do the middle number. Go that way. You can do the trick way, which is over 2. Again, if you have like 100 numbers, you don't want to sit here and write out all 100 numbers. So this would be your total frequency, which we know is 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. And again, this is the trick way. And that's going to bring us to the 4th person. So start counting from the lowest to get to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there you go. It's 180,000. And then obviously the other way is to put all the numbers, not these numbers, not the products, the actual numbers into L1 and you get your answer. All right, state which of these measures of central tendency best represents the value of the 7 race cars. So yesterday I kind of mentioned that they tend to ask this kind of question in a part 2, and here it is. They basically want to know if you're going to use the mean or the median. And as you know, it's all about that outlier. So let's look at the numbers. Let's analyze them. 126, 140, okay, kind of close. That one's a little bit, this one's really far from all of these. So this would be an outlier. So you have to use the median. So justify means usually numbers, but in this case, it actually means explaining. So the median, so you would use the median, or the median is the best measure of central tendency, because the outlier of 819,000 affects the mean. Okay, so that's usually what they do. They usually have kind of like that question like that. All right, number 4. 3 consecutive even inches. Oh, this is similar to what we did yesterday. So basically, you just add up, I don't know why this is in this packet, divide by 3. That gets you 3x plus 6 equals 20. Cross multiply. That gives us, what am I doing? 60. Get 3x equals 54. And you get x equals 18. X plus 2 equals 20. X plus 4 equals 22. So the 3 CEIs, whose sum is 20, are 18, 20, and 22. All right, I kind of rushed because that's not really part of today's lesson. All right, so number 5. So what I'd like you to do, if possible, is like you to kind of pause the Ed Puzzle right now. Try to do these just this number 5 on your own and see if you get the answer, and then come back and check on the Edpuzzle. Okay, so try best. All right, so number 5, let's see how you guys did. The values of 11 houses. Okay, so that means right now this should add up to 11. Yes, total frequency, total frequency. On Washington Street are shown in the table below. We want to find the mean, the median, and again, this is very similar to the car question. Which one is the best? Okay, so for the mean, we'll start with the multiplying way. So one of these is 100, 5 is 875, 4 would be 800, and that, okay, that gets us 2,475,000. So again, to get the mean, this is just one way to do it. You would take the total sum, okay, this is sum, which is 2,475,000, and you divide it by the total frequency, total frequency of, what did I say, was 11 houses. And when you divide, you should get 225,000. Okay, the other way is to, make the list of the numbers. Again, these are all the symbols in the calc, by the way. You can make a list of all the numbers. You can add them up by hand. You would get the same exact value, the 2,475,000. Divide by 11, you get 225. And then the other way, if you guys did it this way in the calculator, stat 1, writing all these numbers. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 11 numbers, stat calc 1, and it should give us an answer of 225,000. Yes. So I'm sure some of you might even already been thinking, like, is there a way where I could just let me go back here, put this into L1 and this into L2? Yes, that there is. Instead of writing each one out 5 times, but I'm just not ready to show you that yet. That's more of our bivariate stuff that I'll show you later on in this unit. But right now, let's just stick this way. Okay, so let's go back to our answer, because while I'm there, I can just figure out what the median is, and that's 175,000. Okay, so hopefully you got this for your mean, whichever way you chose to do. And now your median, let's do it. That is going to be your total frequency over 2 if you do the shortcut. So my total frequency is 11. Divided by 2 is 5.5. And anytime you get a decimal of 5, just round it. So I'm going to go to the 6th person, starting with the lowest. So 1 plus 5 is 6. There you go. Boom, 175,000. Again, the other way is basically if you list like 100 one time, 175 5 times. I'm kind of not going to do all this, but whatever you do, you got to do some sort of work. Okay, which measure times tendency, mean, or the median best represents the 11? Okay, so again, you're looking for an outlier. Is there one number that's not close to the rest? Yes, there is. If there's an outlier, it would affect the mean. So you want to use the median. All right, so again, you want to use the median because the 700,000 is affecting what the average price is. I mean, you could look at the difference right here. Okay, it's definitely bringing it up a lot, where this is more the better representation of what the house values are. This is a little too high, and that one value is what's bringing it up. So that's kind of like a real life question to show you. Okay, so one more page, and I guess this is kind of like what your homework would have been, but I'd rather do it with you because on this last page, I kind of put like the tricky / like different ones, I guess. So I'd rather do it with you. So just bear with me. All right, the heights of the players on the basketball team are shown in the frequency table. Find the mean, median, mode, and range. So we have a lot. So notice we have our interval here. That's the height in inches of the basketball players. And then you have the frequency. Okay. What I want you to notice and look at is this column right here. What I need you to notice is that they are not in numerical order. Okay. And that's going to affect something that we do. Okay. So keep that in mind. That's why I wanted to do this one together. Okay. So let's start with the easiest. Let's get the easiest out of the way. So the range. So what's my highest height? That's 77. What's my lowest height? 64. And that difference is 13 inches. Okay, good. Let's do the mode next. I like getting the easy ones out of the way. So the highest frequency would be 75. All right, so let's do, which one do we want to do next? I guess we're going to do the median next. So what you would normally do is you would do the shortcut, I think, at least most of you would do that. And you would take your total frequency, which is 15. Okay, that's your total frequency. And you want to cut it in half. So that's 7.5, which is the 8th person. Now I would say, okay, we'll start counting from the lowest. But are these in numerical order? No, they're not. They're not in numerical order. So here's where you have to be really tricky if you're going to use the shortcut. So I'm just going to quick put these in numerical order. Let's see, 64, there's 3 of them, 71, 72, 73, 75, 76, and 77. Okay, so now that they are in numerical order, now you could do your shortcut. So I can't even read what this says. That's a 2, and that's a 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it would be in this section right here, which is 73 inches. So whether you did this trick way or by hand, you'd have to put it in numerical order. Remember, if you're going to do the stat 1, okay, and you're going to list all these numbers, you don't have to put them in numerical order. So this would be once. This would be twice, 3 times, 4 times. Don't put that in annual because it's not even an answer. And stats calc 1 will give you a median of 73. So what's nice about this, you do not need to put the numbers into the calculator in numerical order. All right, so our last one is your average. So that is this. So the average. All right, how do we want to do this? Well, actually, I already have all the numbers in the calculator. Why do extra work? All right, so your answer is right there, 72. My total of 1080 over the 15 should come out to be 72 inches. Okay. If you wanted to do it a different way, remember you can multiply 71 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. That's a 0. And that's a 154. So you will get that 1080 and you're still dividing by 15. So really you have to just do whatever better for you. Okay, what I do want to point out is that if you notice, nowhere here did I put the number 76 anywhere. Okay, I did not put, so no 76 in calc, and that's because no one was that height. Okay, no one was that height. And I want to add one more thing over here. You know, I'm all about my notes. Must put in numerical order to do the median trick. Okay, in order to do this median trick, it's how to be in numerical order. If you're doing the mean, which we put in the calculator, even when I did the median, notice I did not put, no one was at that height, so that's not going in there. Okay, lucky number 7. The scores for a science quiz are shown on the table. What are the median and the modes? Median and the modes. Okay, so our interval are our scores, and our frequency is our number of students. This is your frequency. Again, I'm going to do the mode first. I like to do the mode first. And that is 80. And the median, we'll do the trick if that's okay with you guys. So you can add up your frequency. When you add it up, you get 34. So half of 34, because that's your total amount over 2, is 17. So you want to count to the 17th person. These are, yep, they're in numerical order, so we're good to go. 1, 3, 7, 12. Okay, so this is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you hit that 17th person while you were there. Okay. All right, last but not least, last one. This one is the one that's different from all the rest. So hopefully you found a way that works for you so far on all of these to figure out the median and the mean, whichever way you like better. And hopefully you understand, and hopefully I don't completely confuse you on this last one. All right, last but not least, we are almost there. It's almost like a full class period, 41 minutes. Okay, so what you notice here is that these are names. This is the first one where I've given you a non-numeric. So this one is different because it's not 2 sets of numbers, it's names. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is the mean number of runs, and then we're going to do the median number of runs. So we want to do the mean, and we want to do the median. All right, so how does this whole name thing and no numbers affect it? Okay, so to do the average, really the calculator, I can't put the numbers in because I don't really have anything else. I don't have a frequency. This is the frequency, but I don't have an actual score to put in, so we can't do that. So this we're going to have to do, I guess, kind of old school, and we're going to have to add up all these runs. So you want to add up the number of runs. When you add up the number of runs, you get 81. So that's actually your sum. Okay. And now what you're dividing by, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, is 9. Some of you might be saying, well, why are we counting this? Why are we not dividing by 8? So this is an actual person. And anyone that knows baseball knows that sometimes you get up and you strike out and you don't have any number of runs for that day. Kind of like my Mets sometimes. But this still is a person. He still came up to bat. He did not get any. So you must actually count. So must count because that is what they actually got. Must put in calc when doing the mean because there's actually 9 players. So that's different than this height over here. There was no person that was a height of 76. Okay, but this is an actual person, O'Neill. Actually, I think it's a Yankees player. O'Neill is an actual person. He didn't get any runs. So that's why we're dividing by 9 and not 8. And then the median, well, again, because it's names, you can't really do the trick here. You can't do like the halfway thing. So you have to put these in order. So 0, numerical order, 2, 5, 8, 9, 11, 14, 15, and 17. And that's also going to be 9. So this is a good question to show, again, because this is non-numeric and because sometimes you can't rely on the calculator. Sometimes you have to know how to do things old school. Ooh, all right. Hopefully you guys understood everything. Again, there is no extra homework tonight. This was technically your homework, this packet. So hopefully you understood everything. Make sure to post this in Google Classroom. If you have any questions, especially with the calculator and stuff like that, just reach out to me. And thanks so much. All right. Have a great day.